I watched 6 episodes of Hoops, a new Netflix show that is a co-venture with 20th Century Fox, and now I'm going to talk about it. This show was created by Ben Hoffman, who is apparently a comedian. I guess he's done a lot of work under a persona that's kind of like a southern country character, but kind of in a mocking way, but also not, and he does music and stuff. I don't know, I had never heard of him, and his work doesn't really sound like my kind of thing. So he made this show about a high school basketball coach in Kentucky, and oh boy, this lead character sure is a loser. The show tells us over and over just what a loser he is. Such an underdog. Oh my goodness. We have never seen this before, have we? Like I mentioned, 20th Century Fox had their hands in this one, which is not so surprising since in many ways it feels like an attempt to replicate the Family Guy look and tone. In other words, they have cheap, ugly character models, and they use no language and talk about dicks almost constantly. If this stuff sounds funny to you, you will probably like the show. Most surprising to me was that Lord and Miller, as in Phil Lord and Christopher Miller, have EP credits on this show. I thought they had signed an overall deal with Sony that was just massive, but I don't know. I'm not in the business. Are executive producer credits like exempt from those deals in some way? Anyway, I was pretty surprised to see their names come up since I tend to really respect and enjoy just about anything they work on. This seems like a bit of a departure. As for the cast, the lead is that guy from New Girl and Nothing Else, and the supporting cast features a few people I really like. Ron Funches is in the show. He's great, isn't he? He's great. I saw him do stand-up one time, a long time ago. It's great. He's very good. And his character is named Ron, and he looks a lot like modern-day Ron Funches after he lost all that weight, and he sounds a lot like Ron Funches, but maybe that's why the character works at all. Natasha Leggero is involved, which I hope they paid her a lot because she's really good in general, and this just doesn't seem like her typical flavor of comedy. Rob Riggle is in the show. All right, so is the show funny? This is the big question everyone's asking, right? Well, I laughed twice over about 6 episodes, but they were good laughs. I think the writing staff must be pretty talented, even if most of the time they go back to the same 1 or 2 comedy wells that have long since been tainted by Peter Griffin's DNA, which was probably thrown down the well during a hilarious cutaway sequence. Is Hoops my kind of show? No, it's really not, but it might be yours. I'm a big fan of happy, sad comedy, and shows like BoJack got me used to a more accurate portrayal of broken loser characters, showing how they negatively affect all the people who care about them. So the way that Hoops portrays a very similar character dynamic feels like a step back and just more of the same from a bygone era of comedy. So once the side characters started having their own B-plots, I was pretty disappointed by just how boring and generic those storylines were. It really is just another animated sitcom from Fox with all the usual fixins. Oh, they do that thing a lot, that thing where someone uses a common idiom, then the other character starts up this hilarious banter where they take the saying literally and break it down and really stretch it out into this long thing. Maybe it's improv, maybe it's not. I'll make one up right now. So, one character might say, "Well, butter my biscuits. I have to get to the airport." And the other character says, "What biscuits? I don't see any biscuits." And the first guy says, "No, it's a saying. I don't have any biscuits." And the other guy says, "Oh, so you're a liar. You got me excited for biscuits." "No, I don't." "And why wouldn't they have butter on them already? You can't have biscuits without butter." See, you can hire me to write on your show. I know all the hip gags and spoofs that are at least 10 years old by this point. They also do the thing popularized by Family Guy where the joke is just seeing how long they can extend a really simple gag. So like Stewie saying mom over and over. In this show, it's the main guy missing a shot on the basketball court. So we have to watch him miss for the next minute straight. That's cutting edge comedy right there. What else do you want? Do I have anything else to say about Hoops? It's fine. My biggest problem is just how bland it is and how much I hate being in the world of the show. The character models are ugly, as usual, for, streaming exclusive animated television. And they tried to make the setting somewhat accurately ugly, since it's just middle of nowhere Kentucky, which just reminded me of how miserable it is to spend time in most parts of the country. Don't get me wrong, LA is gross too, just in a really different way. So I don't see myself returning to the show. In terms of flavor, it's kind of like day-old McDonald's, and if you've had day-old McDonald's before and liked it, then you'll probably like it again here. That said, if you have some day-old McNuggets lying around, please send them to this address here. They're just much better cold. I don't really know why. And that's it. I get to do an outro over an airplane going by that's very loud. Never mind, it's a helicopter. So if you don't know about LA, there are helicopters all the time. All the time. It was kind of spoofed a little bit, or at least referenced in that Robert Altman movie, Shortcuts, which is not one of my favorites of his, but it's okay. But all the stories are kind of loosely connected by this, these helicopters flying above, dropping some kind of pesticide or something. Thanks for checking this out. I tried to keep it short. I will look for other streaming exclusive animated shows that I might be able to talk about that are still kind of fresh, and maybe I can get some discoverability if I'm fast enough in talking about them.